All right, welcome. Year two, legacy, build your kingdom. Let that lion roar. We're on our way. We started off last week with our first episode of year two. We were 42 episodes in. This is number 43, which means that in 40 episodes, 41 episodes of year one, we have talked about a lot of different topics about life. So when I say let that lion roar, we're talking about moving things into action. So we went from that foundational philosophy in year one, talking about this concept of building your kingdom, and now we're in this year two where we're intensifying and having a conversation about the actual action of our kingdom action. We're going to talk a little bit today about what our next steps are here. So if you listened to last week, you had a lot of action items. We call them, audit action, because we did a legacy audit of your life. You went through the last year of your life and what worked, what didn't work, and you were given these audit action items to hopefully go through and actually do. There was four of them, and then there was a fifth challenge that I had for you where you should make a comment on this podcast, follow, and then make a comment on this podcast where you talked a little bit about that concept of your life and following what you are going to focus on for this year of your life. I say these things because I truly believe in them. And one thing about me is, I'm going to stand by what I believe in. I make mistakes, and there's definitely, as a man, as a human, there's things that I've said that maybe I've gone back on. I know that's happened in my life, but I'm pretty true to what I say and what I follow. What I preach is what I believe, and this is how I live. And the mindset has to be that the appropriate time and the appropriate circumstance follows all of those boundaries that you set. Some people confuse them, and they like to play their narrative, and they like to change things, and they like to adjust things so that it fits their life. But what they don't get is they don't get to choose what happens in my kingdom, just like I don't choose what happens in your kingdom. So as you go through life and you start actually putting action to building your kingdom, this year or two, this is actually putting it into action. Some of the things that maybe didn't work out so well last year. If you're following along, if you are into this concept of building your kingdom, I truly want you to follow along with the action items and really digest what I'm asking you to do here. Because I wouldn't ask you to do something I already haven't done for my life. And this is the concept that continues on as we go through. Just like I told you, I really want to get some very established people and how they've built their own kingdom, maybe on this podcast. If I can get some people on here, and that doesn't mean that they're going to be somebody that's a celebrity, and that doesn't mean they're going to be somebody that maybe you don't know or maybe you do know. I'd like to get some people out here that I'm learning as well. Have a good conversation, learn from their perspective, they learn from my perspective, and actually dive into what guides their life. Someone gave me a suggestion. My cousin gave me this suggestion, and she said, hey, what about doing the life of Rudy Knapp? Like, what about broadcasting and doing some advertisement for your life coaching and certain things? And maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do some more videoing of myself, get out of my comfort zone. I really have been hesitant to do that. It isn't because of a lack of confidence. I have confidence in who I am, and I'm trying to build confidence in every person that listens to this. It is about being outside of your comfort zone, just like this podcast has always been outside of my comfort zone. But I preach this, and I want to see people continue to get outside their comfort zone so they can have the ability to grow. Same thing for me. I've grown so much just from doing this podcast. The way I think, the way my perspectives are, how I actually focus on certain topics. Also, just the way I live my life, changing. So as I continue to grow and I build my kingdom and I'm actually putting things into action, I'm asking you to do the same. So this episode, this is all about that concept, kind of going back to what we talked about in year one and then relating it to year two, but also putting it into action. This is about the engine of legacy, right? We're going from that blueprint that we made last year of what we need to do, right? Or why we should do it, I should say, and move it into the how, right? So last year was about the why. This year is about the how. We're moving from I should get fit, like in shape, to my fitness is a prerequisite for my mission. Today, we are discussing your body as the literal engine of your legacy. So think about that idea. For 41 episodes or so, we laid the stones of this foundation. We've talked about love, we've talked about time, we've talked about Jesus, all as like cornerstones of our lives, right? But a king who loses his health loses his territory. You cannot lead a movement from the hospital bed, and you cannot build a legacy if you're too tired to play with your own kids. Think about that. We're going to talk about our health, and we're going to talk about moving into action today. And if any of you have listened to this or any of you know me, I am not only life coaching, I'm also focusing on fitness coaching as well. So I believe they all go hand in hand. Anyone that has worked with me fitness wise in this past year also knows that life coaching comes involved with it, because I believe in my heart that if you don't change the way you think, if you don't change how to approach all 5 pillars of your life, if you don't focus on all of them, you will never stick to that fitness goal that you have. It becomes all parts of your life. And because I incorporate this life coaching, this mindset change, it helps my clients work towards their goal and get to their goal. What they see is that I can't just say I want to get in shape. I have to step from what I want to actions of doing. When I get there, I have to have a mindset that this is a lifestyle change. This is something that I need for my kingdom. And as I just put a second ago, if I lose my health, I lose my territory, I lose part of my kingdom, right? I can't function. I can't build up my kingdom. I can't build myself up if I'm sitting in a hospital bed, right? I can't model this for the rest of the people around me. And in order for me to do that, I need to be healthy enough in my life to represent who I am and how my body becomes an important part of my longevity. And we're going to get into that in a second. So again, we went from the why, and now we're going to talk about the how. We're trying to move from us laying down and understanding why these things are important to how are we actually going to do them. And this is where we get into this idea of the engine of your legacy. You have to build the engine that continues to run and keeps going. Your body continues to run, it keeps going. When you break down mentally or physically, you no longer have your kingdom. You will be overtaken, and you want your kingdom to last forever through you and through the people you pass it on to. I'm a firm believer in this. My legacy will always be built through how I influence other people in this world and how I have helped other people in this world. I don't need to be a celebrity. I don't need to be somebody that's known by everybody in life. What I need to be is somebody that is true to my word under God, where I can stand back and I can say, I help those people from my heart, deep in my heart, and I continue to help because that's what I get out of this. This is my purpose in life, is to pass my word and also help those around me. Whether they want to take it or not, that's up to them, but I am here, whereas I can provide, and I know that I bring value to it, especially when we talk about this health purpose. I have changed my life. I have changed my world. And a lot of people will stand back and they'll say, okay, well, this is a big guy, or I get all the comments. I get comments nonstop. I get comments of, are you an MMA fighter? I get comments like, oh, you're on steroids. I get comments of, oh, you should go to the gym. Ha, ha, ha. Like I don't go to the gym, but they know that I actually do go to the gym by the looks of me. I understand those things. I am never going to brag about myself. I am the hardest person on myself, and I am somebody that will continue to work on every little bit of who I am, because I built this kingdom. I built this part of my kingdom. The walls of my castle come from me. That's hard work. That's discipline. That's me putting in work. And I will tell, just like I tell my kids and I tell other people around me, just had this conversation with a client that I'm working with. Understand that it is a sign of respect to understand that you see someone in great shape, or you see someone that is working towards great shape, where they actually are healthy, or they eat healthy. That is a sign of discipline. That is a sign of understanding that they put in work, because nobody gets muscles and nobody gets in great shape and nobody, loses weight without eating properly and putting in the work. Now, we all have these different drugs out there that, help us lose weight, but that doesn't mean you're strong and it doesn't mean you're healthy. Please understand, if you get up every day, you put in the work every single day like I have, you're a 3:30 a.m. alarm that gets you to the gym by 4 o'clock every single day. You work out sometimes twice a day. You continue to do what is best for you personally, physically, mentally. Then you can stand here and you can have that conversation. Does that mean you have to be in tip-top shape? No, you're putting in the work. I applaud the heavy-set people that are sitting in the gym every single day, the pregnant woman that's on the elliptical every single morning, the old lady that's 78 years old who is literally in the gym at 4 a.m. every morning. Those are the people that are strong. Those are the people that have a kingdom that is well built, that is thriving. Just by conversation with them, you can see their families inside them. You can see it come out of them. You can see the people they've influenced. So I want to get into this. You have to understand, there is a micro discipline, micro thinking. Remember this from year one, micro discipline. You have a daily tax to pay for effort. Your effort has a daily tax. Think about that concept. You don't own your health, you rent it. You don't own it. Because if you own it, you could do whatever you want with it, but you don't own it. You rent it. And rent is due every single day. What you do with your body every single day. Think about that concept. You know my stance on effort. If you've ever listened to any of this, you understand my stance on effort. Endless effort. It comes with relationships. It comes with your work and your work ethic at work. It comes with your everyday work on your own self, your kingdom. In year 2, effort isn't a feeling. It's a standard. It is not something that you feel. It is something that is a standard for your life. You must give effort. It must come. Think about that idea. If you can't tell a donut no, or you can't say no to a donut, how are you going to tell the world no when it tries to pull you off your mission, building your kingdom? Your micro decisions, the fork, putting it down, the floor, doing work, the alarm clock, determine if your kingdom bank has a currency to expend. Think about that mindset. Do I have anything in my kingdom? Do I have a currency? Have I built up anything that I saved? Do I have that to spend? Did I make the micro decisions in order to build up this ability for me to spend a little bit? Now, if you're not catching on to that analogy, I want you to understand one thing. Every day you make micro decisions. Every time you make micro decisions, they're either building your health, they're building your kingdom, or they're not, or they're going against it. So what does that mean? Well, those micro decisions, they lead to this macro longevity. Think about that. I like to call it the 100-year cathedral. All right? We aren't building a tent, not a little tent in the backyard. We're building a cathedral. We're building cathedrals that take decades to build. Your life is not 5 years. Your life is not 2 years. Your life is not 1 year. Your life is decades and decades. It's 100-year cathedral. You get 100 years. And if you concentrate on your health, guess what happens? You make it 100 years. This concept you have to own, right? Think about what we've talked about from year 1 to year 2. We've discussed time. Time is the most valuable, non-renewable resource you have. It is the most valuable, non-renewable resource you have. It is the biggest currency you own. Longevity is the act of buying more time. You can't determine it. You don't get to decide the details, but you surely can put yourself in a situation where you get to buy more time being healthy. I know healthy people die early too. I know people that are healthy that had heart attacks and certain things. And I know sometimes we think they're healthy because their outside looks healthy, but their inside isn't. I know people that run marathons that smoke cigarettes like dum-dums. Because I'm going to come out there and say it to you right now, one of the dumbest things you could ever do is smoke cigarettes. And I know there's a lot of people that listen on this that might smoke cigarettes, or maybe have smoked cigarettes, or maybe they smoke weed, which is just as much. We should know by now better than that. So this concept becomes, I want longevity for my life. I want this macro way of thinking, these macro goals, longevity. What good is building $1 million business or a spiritual powerhouse if you're too broken to enjoy the fruit of the vine? Think about what that means. You want to enjoy your life? What good is it if you're not healthy enough to live through it? Macro thinking means training today so you can carry your grandkids on your shoulders at 80 years old. Think about what macro means. Longevity. Think about what micro means. Daily activities. This daily tax you're paying. You must give the effort every single day towards your life, whether that means I'm going to eat healthy today, or maybe I'm going to have some sweets today, but you know what, I'm not going to have them tomorrow. Maybe I'm going to work it off later. Whatever the case is, you are putting a priority into your health. All right. Now, in order to build a kingdom that lasts, you have to stop looking at health as a someday goal and start seeing it as the series of tactical maneuvers. You are doing this for a purpose. They are tactical because you are putting in specific things. Habit stacking, like we talk about, for a reason. Every micro decision is a brick. Enough bricks laid correctly will create this macro cathedral of your life. There's a lot of analogies here that I hope you're catching on to, but I want you to hear this from me. Lay the bricks down. Lay the foundation. Lay the bricks as you continue to do it correctly, not incorrectly, not the crappy way, not inconsistently. But you actually are laying these bricks down to create this masterpiece called your cathedral, your kingdom. When you do that, you will have those long-term goals come into play, that macro thinking. So today, I'm going to start talking this a little bit about this actionable items that you can do. I told you that I'm going from us talking about it to us actually doing it. This is actions. I am not a dreamer. I am a doer. From my life, from going forward, I'll always be a doer instead of a dreamer. My goals, my path will always be a doer. And those people alongside of me, my family, my people, they're going to be going along with the ride because it's going to be great. And maybe I'm not there yet. And maybe I continue to add to my plate. And maybe I continue to do this. But I have learned from many people around me, many guidances, that I'm going to be a doer, not just a dreamer. So let's do this now. Let's talk about this health, this health matrix in which you can start right now. Actionable items to get you healthy right now. Let's talk about them all. And I want you to take notes if you can. Write this down because this is what you should do on a daily basis to build your kingdom, to prolong your health, to make sure that you are here to carry those grandkids. You are here to enjoy the kingdom that you built. Here it is. Your micro decisions, what you can do right now to this day that will lead to macro longevity. Starting with number one, your metabolism. You are going to choose water starting today over the soda that you drink or the pop or the, sugary drinks. One of the worst things is juice. I love juice, but one of the worst things is to drink juice, orange juice, grape juice. These are the worst things you can, full of sugar. Stop with the pop. It's awful for you. It's a killer. I watch people do it 3 or 4 times sitting down at dinner, where they get 3 or 4 refills. What that does is kills the intake of sugar in your body. You're not going to be healthy. It also prevents you from chronic disease like, maybe this concept of type 2 diabetes, right? Chronic disease cuts your mission short by 20 years. That means we're not getting to 100 cathedral. We might only get to 80. Stop with the sugar intake. Fix your metabolism by drinking water. And then the next one, and I like to call these categories, they're kind of like small pillars, right? But these categories, this stewardship, right? Treating your body like a temple, not a dumpster. And do it for the next 24 hours and see how you feel. Honoring the temple so you can serve as the king or queen for a full lifetime. What do I mean by that? Your body is a temple. You've heard this from many people. I'm not making this up. Your body is a temple. It must keep you together to act appropriately so you can live throughout your life and you can move. Movement is a key. Try this. Try to go and put all the healthy things in your temple. Try to exercise for the next 24 hours, doing small things. We'll talk about some of the things you can do, but try to do it for 24 hours and see if you feel any better. See if you have more energy. You are not a dumpster. Stop putting trash in your body. Stop putting smoke in your body. Figure this out and do it now. Mental health, one of the most important things. The inner circle audit that we'll talk about at some point. Removing people, right? We talked about it last week with this audit. We talked about removing people who drain your energy. Get rid of people that drain your energy. You know who I'm talking about. You know who's part of your life. You know the ones that drained your energy. The ones that brought nothing to your life. Now, you also can be confused with people that did bring things to your life and you couldn't get out of your own way. Start looking at your life and really reflecting this inner circle. Go to your inner circle, look at that, audit it, and say who should belong here and who shouldn't. Now, what's the macro longevity of this? Well, this is building a mind that is sharp enough to mentor the next generation. Get rid of, be around people that you should be around. You hang out with doctors, you're a doctor. You hang out with crackheads, you're a crackhead. We said it many times on this podcast. If you hang out with losers, you're a loser. You hang out with people that don't work out, you're probably not going to work out. You hang out with people that eat junk food all day long, you're going to probably eat junk food all day long. If you hang out with people that smoke, you're going to be a smoker. You hang out with people that value their health, you'll value your health. Moving on, hydration. We talked about water already. We're going to talk about it again because it's one of the most important. It's one of the most difficult in my eyes. For me, a challenge for me is to drink my water intake, and I'm still working on it. And I promise you it's a daily task for me that I do put in a lot of work towards, that it is difficult, but I continue to try and continue to work on it. Drink 16 to 20 ounces of water before your first cup of coffee or your first drink of anything else, which means you should only be drinking water. Tea and water that has no sugar in it, right? Drink 16 to 20 ounces of water before your first of anything. This will improve your kidney function and skin. It prevents chronic dehydration fatigue. I believe I have that sometimes because I work hard, I work out hard, I sweat a lot, I do all those things, and I have to rehydrate more than anybody. And what I see is that if I don't, I can see the difference in my skin, and I can see the difference in my body and how much it hurts, tight muscles, things like that. You need hydration. You should be drinking, if you're a grown man, gallon of water a day. If you're, a smaller female or even a smaller male, you drink half of your body weight in ounces of water, if not more. Most people should strive for 100 ounces of water. A lot of people should be at 128 ounces, 1 gallon. Movement. This is another one that I'm struggling at right now. I need to learn how to stretch. I need to get better at it. I'm very, very, very tight. That means there's a couple things that need to happen for me. I'll get to stretching in a little bit, but here's the concept. I want you to take a 10-minute walk after you eat your largest meal of the day. What this can do is this can control your glucose or your sugar levels, those things in your blood, right? It fattens blood sugar spikes. It's protecting you from that type 2 diabetes. 10-minute walk. It's got movement in your body instead of sitting on the couch and falling asleep like we all usually do, right? Try that. Something else you can do today, your micro decision you can make today is your posture. Pull your shoulder blades back when you're sitting down at your desk or when you're sitting down. Pull them back. This prevents your tech neck, as some people call it, and permanent spinal curvature. Think about that. Your posture is important. Even when you're lifting weights, pull your shoulders back. When you are using arms or biceps, pull your shoulders back. You ever working out fitness with me, I'm going to tell you that every single day. Get your shoulders back. Nutrition. Replace one refined carb, which is a bread or a pasta, with a complex green today. Do it today. Start doing it every single day. This reduces your symptomatic inflammation, the root cause of most age-related diseases. Think about it. This inflammation is what's killing our bodies at times. It's what makes us hurt. It's pain. We need to change our nutrition. And then what about strength? I just sent something to my dad about this. Get up, move your body, do 20 air squats a day. Do them in between while your coffee's being made. Do it, when you're watching TV, whatever the case is. Perform 20 air squats or push-ups during a meeting or a break. Do it when you're not in front of people if you don't want to. Do it when you have a break from something else. This maintains muscle mass, which is the number one predictor of longevity. You want to live a long life, you want to be here for your kingdom, you need muscle mass. That's an important part. It is called strength. Yes, it is something that I work on every day. Yes, this is something you can do. If I can, then you can. You have no clue on where I've come from in my life, and some people do. Some people have seen me as a large man before. Some people have seen me in different aspects of my life, but my life will never be that way because my mental capacity has changed. And the little things like I'm telling you here, your micro decisions every day of your life that can change your way of living and your kingdom, your temple, consistently for the rest of your life if you do these changes. I promise you. Here's the next one. Sleep. Set a digital sunset. All screens off 60 minutes before bed. Everybody will tell you this, but we don't do it. Turn off the TV. Read. Lay in bed. Turn off all that stimulation, right? This is your brain hygiene. This is the macro longevity. Allows, for your lymphatic system to wash toxins from your brain, fighting against Alzheimer's, something very dear to me. You don't want your brain to stop. You don't want you to not be able to have control over your brain. You don't want so that you don't understand what's going on in life as you get older. We know a lot of people know people that have Alzheimer's. We need sleep, but we need sleep that is deep sleep. I have a struggle with this at times too. We need to get into that REM. We need to make sure that we're in deep sleep. Turn off the TV. Sunlight. Get 5 to 10 minutes of direct sunlight in your eyes before 10 a.m. It's ensuring deep restorative sleep for the night. So get the sunlight so that you have this deep sleep later on that night. You should also work on your mental part. Sit in total silence for 5 minutes. No phones, no music. 5 minutes of silence. This is going to regulate your cortisol levels. You're going to lower your baseline stress. It's going to protect your heart from wear and tear. Another thing you can do today, how simple is it to sit in silence for 5 minutes, right? Oral health. You can floss your teeth before you go to bed. Sometimes we floss in the morning, we don't floss at night. If you do this, you are helping with the defense of your heart, right? You have heart defense. It prevents oral bacteria from entering the bloodstream and causing this plaque that we all build up, right? All right. Then what about your respiratory? Take 5 box breaths. So you have 4 seconds inhale, 4 seconds hold, 4 seconds exhale, 4 seconds hold. This retrains, your nerve, your vagus nerve, to keep you in a rest and digest state instead of a fight or flight mode. A lot of us live that stressful life where we have a fight or flight mode. We have to get out of it. We have to reduce the stress, because one of the things that keeps us from longevity is the inability to relieve stress. They say people that are healthy can last longer, but people that want to last a long life, mostly a long life to 100 cathedral, they will release this fight or flight mode, the stress that's on their body. You want to live longevity, you need to relieve stress. And that some of that comes from being unhealthy, some of that comes from not eating right, some of it comes from mental health. Some of it comes from your physical health. All of that we need to work on starting today. I just gave you so many different concepts here. I just gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 different things you can do today that can start helping you with this concept of you living a healthier lifestyle. This is an action for you right now. Please, whatever you do, understand that I'm here to build you up. I'm here to help you. If you ever need to reach out to me, reach out to me. I can help you at any point. Not even just with life coaching. If you want to join life coaching and get in-depth view, please reach out to me. I promise you I will help you. I'm looking for clients still. I have some clients right now. I love helping people. One of the best things for me is to understand my purpose. My purpose is to intrinsically get value from helping people succeed. I love it. My clients right now, I can brag about right now. I mean, I have a 17-year-old kid that literally has shown just huge gains in 2.5 months. I have, a 42-year-old woman who has lost 13 pounds in 3 weeks. I mean, I can't tell you how proud I am to see some people that are actually following things that I put in place for them, but also things because they want this, because their mindset has changed. We can go on and on and on, but right now what I want you to do is start doing it for yourself. Come ask for help. Come ask for guidance. I don't care if you want me to ask me questions. I can answer questions. You want to get deep, in-depth help with accountability check-in? That's me. Come talk to me. You want fitness training? Come talk to me. I promise you I know what I'm doing, and I promise you that you will be guided into the right place. I also provide your own fitness plan for your workouts. I provide your own nutrition plan. I provide your own supplement plan. I provide your own stretch plan. I provide your own plan for your core or abs. All of these come from me, that are from my personal beliefs, from what I have created, and also, research. So the concept becomes, if you want this, please come out, reach out to me. If you're listening to this, reach out to 5 people that you know. I ask you as a favor to me, reach out to 5 people that you know and ask them if they want help. Ask them if they would like fitness training. They'd like life coaching, which also goes involved with fitness and health. And tell them about me. Reach out, tell them, contact me. Everyone should have mine, rudynat57@gmail.com. You also have a concept of 1204. You can reach out to me at any point. I promise you I'm here to help you. All right. So as we continue to move on, there are 3 kingdom actions that I'm going to send to you right now. Again, I keep leaving you with these action items. Really hope that you listen to them. I really hope you jot them down. I really hope that you go through and you start doing them. The temple audit, okay? I want you to look at your calendar for the next 7 days. If you haven't scheduled at least 3 30-minute, 45-minute blocks of physical stewardship, or called exercise, do it now. If it isn't on your calendar, it isn't a priority for your kingdom. If you don't prioritize exercise or getting healthier, it is not a priority in your kingdom, and your kingdom will crumble. I promise you that. Build your cathedral. Look at the next week of your calendar and put them on there and make it happen. You put 30 minutes on there to go for exercise, walk, you go to the gym for 30 minutes, whatever the case is, do it 3 times for this week. Just 3 times if you're somebody that never works out. If you're somebody that works out, put on there and extend yourself, challenge yourself. The second part of this audit or action items, the zero theft pantry. Go to your kitchen right now. Find 3 items that are kingdom thieves, right? That means high sugar, processed oils, or empty calories. Throw them away. Get rid of them. Don't finish them so they don't go to waste, as we all kind of do. Oh, I got to finish this because it might go to waste. No, don't finish it. Your body is not a trash can. You are not a trash can. You are working on your temple. You are not a trash can. Throw them away. I don't care what you paid for them. Get rid of them. They're garbage. And what you intended on doing was feeding a garbage can, and that's not who you are. And then the legacy stretch tonight. This is something that I started doing this past week or 2 because my doctor told me I got to stretch, right? Tonight, when you are winding down, spend 5 minutes on the floor stretching your hip flexors and lower back. This is me. This is my pain right here. As you do, visualize yourself at 80 years old. Are you moving with ease, or are you stiff and broken? That 80-year-old man is either going to thank you, or woman is going to thank you, or curse you for what you do tonight. You don't stretch. You don't move. That 80-year-old that's going to be you when you hit 80 is going to MF you because you didn't do what you should have done to protect and preserve your temple. 5 minutes. I started doing 15 minutes of stretching every day, and I'm going to tell you right now, it takes a minute to get used to. I'm not used to mobility. I know that I have the strength. I know I have the muscles, and that's okay. But that's not everything. Mobility is too. So not just are you doing these exercises, I'm doing these exercises. I can go right back to you right now and tell you one of them I mentioned, oral health. I'm going to make sure that I floss before I go to bed instead of just in the morning. Right? I'm going to go back and I'm going to make sure that that screen is off 60 minutes before I go to bed. You have to make it a priority for your health and your life. I'm not the end all. I'm not the king of all kings. I am someone here trying to help you build your kingdom. I'm still building mine. And as much as I have built a lot, and I have built a lot of bricks, and a lot of my cathedral is up there, I have a lot of work to do still too. My pillars are still cracking at points too. So don't act like I think I know everything, because I don't. But I am somebody that is doing, and I expect that you're somebody that will be doing too. If you care about your family, you care about those people in your life, and you surely want to better yourself. You don't build a legacy in a day. You build it daily. The micro is the mission. The macro is the reward. I'm going to say that again. The micro is the mission. The macro is the reward, the longevity, the long term. The fact that you're 100 years old and you're seeing grandkids upon grandkids. The fact that you are still involved in lives of your family, your kids and their kids and their kids. There's your reward. So, I'm going to leave you with a few quotes here. You know, micro discipline is the grit that builds the wall. Macro longevity is the vision that ensures the wall still stands when the next generation arrives. Think about what I just said. Grandkids upon grandkids. A healthy man wants 1,000 things. A sick man only wants one. You cannot build a kingdom when you are distracted by preventable pain. A sick man only wants one. He just wants health. You had the ability to have that health, and now you can ask for more and want freedom and want more time and want more of these things because you're healthy. Think about that. Discipline in your health is the highest form of respect you can show to the God who gave you that body and the family that relies on its strength. Think about it. The highest form of respect that you can show to God and your family. I want to say this one last thing, and I know this is hard to hear from some people, but there are men out there that can't protect their wives because of their health. There are women out there who can't protect their children because of their health. Now, don't take that disrespectfully, because some women protect their men with their health as well. But look at that concept. Are you living life where you can't protect the people around you? This is your kingdom. You're the king. You're the queen. Are you living life where you can't? You know, sometimes we joke around these things, but it's not a joke. This is your health. And if you're sitting there where you can't get off the couch without breathing heavy, you can't walk upstairs without breathing heavy, you're somebody that can't go for a walk with your dog around the block because you're out of breath. You're somebody that can't defend someone against your children. You need to get off your ass and start moving. And it starts with these simple things that I just showed you today. Those are little quick fixes that can help you lead to health. Then you start looking in depth of how you can change your life and your health. Now, I started this podcast year 2 talking about a legacy audit. Where were you and where do you want to become? What can you remove? What do you want to keep in your life? And now I'm talking about making health, making this temple a priority in your life for action. If you don't start now with your health and your action towards your health, you will be living in regret years and years to come. I just spoke with one of my clients yesterday and I said this: I have half of my life still to live, if not more, that I can focus on. I'm going to better my life and live an amazing life for the second half of my life. He, for instance, is 17 years old. So I told him that he has 4/5 of his life left, if not more. You can live to 100. You can make a cathedral 100 until God takes you. You can live long. There are people living longer than 100. And I told him that he has the ability to guide his path based on how he wants to live his life. Healthy, in control of himself for the next 80 years. He has the ability to do it now and not live in regret like most people that I know. 40s, 50s, even 30s that are regretful. Let's not live in regret anymore. Let's live in understanding where we were and where we're going to be. Let's look at life like, hey, I still get another half of life left instead of half of my life is gone. When your mentality changes that way, when you take steps and actions forward every single day, even though you have a long hours, even though you're coming home late from work, even though you had a meeting after work, even though you had certain things that come into play. Oh, I have to coach. I have to do this. My kids have this. My kids have that, this, that, whatever. I promise you, everybody lives that life. But as I continue to tell you this, you make a sacrifice for what is important for you and your family and what you know will help your macro longevity in life. Make the sacrifice now, every single day, pay that daily tax, and move forward because I promise you one thing will happen. You will live a happier life. You will be more confident in who you are, and you will understand discipline and how much that's going to help your life and how much you're showing your kids and those people in your kingdom and the people around you and your person and all those people as a model to how this is supposed to go. Guys, the reality is many people are out of shape. And many people do not live happy and very confident in themselves based on their physical health. I hate that for people. I absolutely hate it. I've lived it, and I will never live that again. I will never walk in a room where I'm embarrassed to be in a room just by the way I look. That will never happen. But there are people that do. And you know if you're listening, if you're one of them, something doesn't fit right. You don't like the way you look. You feel too heavy. You feel gross. We all go through days. But if you go through every day like that, you need to listen to what I'm saying here. You need to take action now. You need to reach out to me for life coaching if that's the case. You need to make sure that we understand that you don't have to live that way. You don't have to be in perfect shape. You don't have to be perfect in model or a fitness person. You have to be somebody that understands that this is your life and you need to take control of it. I want that for you. I wish that for you. I hope that for you. As you continue on with your life and you keep going forward, what I'm begging from you is this. I'm begging for you to start looking at this blueprint turning into this actionable item, right? This blueprint turning into a battlefield. I forgot a couple things I want to add in before we leave here. Some more tactical actions that I forgot to talk about. I wrote these down and I want to make sure I talk about it. The 24-hour war. This is your micro discipline. The win the first hour challenge. The first hour of your day. Win it, right? No snooze button. 16 ounces of water immediately to 20 ounces, right? 10 minutes of movement. Start the day with your micro win to set the tone for your kingdom. This is what I've been preaching for how long? I just mentioned them in all those things. We are habit stacking right here. We are not hitting the snooze button. We are drinking water immediately. We're moving our body right away. We are now talking about setting this tone for the day. And then the kingdom fuel filter, I call it. Before every meal, ask, does this food provide the effort I need for my mission? Or does it steal it? Does it provide or does it steal? Is this energy for me that's good energy or is it taking away from building my kingdom? If it is a kingdom thief, sugar, processed junk, walk away from it. The kingdom fuel filter. You have to be the filter of what goes in your mouth and what doesn't. And then here's the last thing. The 50-year vision, macro longevity, right? This is 50 years from now. The functional legacy test. Can you carry your child for a mile in 50 years? Can you lift a heavy box without throwing out your back? If not, your macro vision is at risk. If you don't even think it, how do you think it's going to happen? You have to have that vision. Commit to 30 minutes of functional stewardship. Remember, lifting, exercise. Some people do rucking. I have friends that do rucking. That's a big one. 4 times a week. Go for a walk. Commit to 30 minutes 4 times a week. I think I said 3 times earlier. Commit to 4. 30 minutes 4 times a week. That's not a lot of time. Think about the hours in a week. Do the math. Right? This isn't science. This is real simple math. 24 hours in a day, you tell me you can't give up 30 minutes? 30 minutes of sleep you sacrifice? 30 minutes of watching TV? Come on. And then the Sabbath recharge. Protect the last 60 minutes of your day. No screens, no micro stress. Use the time for prayer, stretching, and connection. You cannot finish a marathon if you never pit stop, right? I shouldn't say that. Some people probably do finish marathons without having to stop. I don't know. Maybe they just pee while it's down their leg, or maybe they, they're so trained they don't have to. But think about that quick pit stop, right? I want you to recharge. I want you to actually pray, stretch, connect, make a connection. Talk to your partner, talk to your kids, last 60 minutes of your day. If you follow these 4 things, they're all related to the things I talked about with you going from micro decisions or micro discipline to macro longevity. Okay, in closing, I know this is a long one. Legacy isn't just what you leave behind, it's what you live through. If you want to build a kingdom that lasts, you have to be a king who lasts. This podcast year 2 is all about putting your health into action, into the action column. Stop talking about your temple and start defending it. I'm Rudy Knapp. I'm going to tell you to go out there and to build your kingdom. One brick at a time, one micro decision at a time. I'm going to tell you I'm here to help you if you want it. I'm also going to tell you that I believe that you can be the king that does do it, the queen that does do it. You need to protect your kingdom. And it starts with what work you put in now. Live through your kingdom. Live through making a legacy for yourself. Go do it. Signing off.